Welcome back and welcome to Eagle News. Hello, I'm Emmett.
I'm Ryan.
We are so glad you could join us today. In today's episode, we will report about Eversole Run Middle School news, national news, Ohio news, teacher focus, science news, riddles, technology news, and much, much more.
In U.S. news, 14-year-old Sasha Yanyak lost a good friend in August 2021. His 64-year-old neighbor Wayne Smith died. The pair had a lot in common, including a love of fishing. In January, Sasha got a surprise that reminded him of Wayne. 3 years ago, the friend has tossed a message in a bottle off the side of a fishing boat. They were sailing near Ocean City. It's a seaside town in Maryland on the east coast of the United States. After so much time had passed, Sasha thought the bottle was gone for good. He was amazed to learn it had been found on a beach in Ireland. That is a country in Europe. Ireland is on one side of the Atlantic Ocean. Maryland is on the opposite side. It is more than 3,000 miles away. Irish couple Sirianne Maron and Rita Simmons found the bottle. They were walking along the beach when they saw it. "We knew as soon as we found it that it was going to take us on an adventure," said Simmons. Inside the bottle was a note written by an 11-year-old boy named Sasha. In the note, Sasha wrote about fishing. He also mentioned his buddy Wayne. He left a phone number and asked the finder to please call. Sasha's dad, Vlad Yanyak, was also surprised to hear his son's message in the bottle had been found. "The bottle was more than a happy discovery," he said. "It had a special meaning for Sasha. He and his family were still learning how to live without Wayne." "This is a story of hope," Simmons said. "She and Maron will keep the bottle until Sasha can come and visit them in Ireland. Then they will put it back out to sea with their new friend by their side."
In world news, last year was the 6th hottest year on record. This is according to the new National Aeronautics and Space Administration, NASA, study. The National Oceanic and Atmospheric Administration, NOAA, has also ran its own study. NOAA focused on understanding and protecting ocean resources. It also focuses on studying the atmosphere. The atmosphere is a blanket of gases that surrounds Earth. Both NOAA and NASA have been tracking global temperatures for decades. Their studies show that the year 2021 is part of a trend. The last 8 years have been the hottest on record. "We're seeing this steep and continuing march upward in temperature," said Leslie Ott. She is a meteorologist. This is a scientist who studies weather and climate events. Ott works for NASA. This new information can seem scary, but knowing the facts helps scientists understand climate change. This is a significant change in the climate of Earth over a long period of time. It can happen naturally. It can also happen in response to human activities. Scientists hope to use this new information to help lessen the impact of climate change. Many governments around the world are working together to stop global warming.
On this date in history, in 1879, sculptor Frederick Augusta Bartholdi is awarded a patent for his design on the Statue of Liberty.
In National Day calendar news, today is National Battery Day and National Crab Stuffed Flounder Day.
Fun fact of the day, there is not one letter Q in any U.S. state name, the only letter in the alphabet to be missing. J and Z are only represented once in each New Jersey and Arizona.
In language arts news, what is a free verse? Free verse is a literary device that can be defined as a poetry that is free from limitations of regular meter or rhythm, and does not rhyme with fixed forms. Such poems are without rhythm, and rhythm schemes do not follow regular rhythm scheme rules, yet still providing artistic expression. In this way, the poet can give his own shape to a poem however he or she desires. However, it still allows poets to use alliteration, rhyme, cadences, and rhythms to get the effects that they consider are suitable for their piece.
In Eagle sports news, this week was a transition week between our winter and spring sports programs at the Nest. Good luck to everyone who joined the track, baseball, softball, and lacrosse teams.
Now for this weekend's weather.
Hi, I'm Emmett, and this is this weekend's weather.
On Friday, there's a high of 49 and a low of 36 with 0% precipitation. On Saturday, there's a high of 71 and a low of 61 with 0% precipitation. And on Sunday, the high is 69. For this week's riddle, what is more useful when it is broken? Answer, an egg.
In science news, what is the water cycle? The water cycle shows the continuous movement of water within the earth and atmosphere. It is a complex system that includes many different processes. Liquid water evaporates into water vapor, condenses to form clouds, and precipitates back to the earth in form of rain and snow. Water in different phases moves through the atmosphere, transportation. Liquid water flows across land, runoff, into the ground, infiltration, and through the ground. Groundwater moves into plants, plant uptake, and evaporates from plants into the atmosphere, transpiration. Solid ice and snow can turn directly into gas, sublimation. The opposite can also take place when water vapor becomes solid, deposition. The water cycle impacts ecosystems, economies, and our daily lives.
In math news, what are scatter plots? A scatter plot, aka scatter chart or scatter graph, uses dots to represent values for two different numeric variables. The position of each dot on the horizontal and vertical axis indicates values for an individual data point. Scatter plots are used to observe relationships between variables. Scatter plots' primary uses are to observe and show relationships between two numeric variables. The dots in a scatter plot not only report the values of individual data points, but also patterns when the data are taken as a whole identification of correlation. Relationships are common with scatter plots. In this case, as we want to know, we are given a particular horizontal value. What a good prediction would it be for the vertical value?
In social studies news, what was the Cold War? After World War II, the United States and the Soviet Union were the superpowers of the world. They became rivals as they each sought to prevent the other from gaining too much power. The period of tension that existed between them came to be known as the Cold War. Although the conflict did not result in actual war between the two countries, it did lead to a number of smaller wars. In the 1970s, the United States and the Soviet Union signed agreements to limit the number of nuclear weapons that they each had. The Warsaw Pact was dissolved in July 1991, and later that the Soviet Union itself broke up into 15 separate nations. Communist rule ended in many countries, bringing an end to the Cold War.
In health news, like other areas of the body, your mouth teems with bacteria, mostly harmless, but your mouth is the entry point to your digestive and respiratory tracts, and some of those bacteria can cause disease. Normally, the body's natural defenses and good oral health care, such as daily brushing and flossing, keep bacteria under control. However, without proper oral hygiene, bacteria can reach levels that might lead to oral infections such as tooth decay and gum disease. To protect your oral health, practice good oral hygiene every day. Brush your teeth at least twice a day for 2 minutes each time. Use a soft bristled brush and a fluoride toothpaste. Floss daily. Use a mouthwash to remove food particles left after brushing and flossing. Eat a healthy diet and limit sugary foods and drinks. Replace your toothbrush every 3 to 4 months or sooner if bristles are splayed or worn. Schedule regular dental checkups and cleanings.
Inspirational quote of the day. What lies behind you and what lies in front of you pales in comparison to what lies inside of you, by Ralph Waldo Emerson. I think this means life is a journey, but let's not get lost in travel. Instead, you must focus on what is within you. The journey of life will change you and unlock what is inside of you. As you evolve during the journey, you have to be sure that all of the changes you are making are positive. Don't allow missteps in the journey to be permanent.
Next up is Eagle Recognition Awards. If you hear your name, please go to the office and see Miss Moses to claim your prize. This is the Eagle Recognition Award winners for this week. Ella Kelsey for being service-minded, but from Miss Engler.
Tessa Westonsko for being service-minded and having ownership, by Mr. Simmons.
Paige Followell for having ownership, by Miss Phelps.
Joel Williams for having ownership and being respectful, by Mrs. Moses.
Haley Corzan for having ownership, by Miss Phelps.
And Jaden Sears for being respectful, by Mrs. Engler. Well, that's it for Eagle News today. If you have a story you would like to have featured on Eagle News, please let Mr. McNeil know. Here at Eversole, we are creating a community of excellence by being positive, working hard, and respecting the uniqueness of ourselves and each other. Have an amazing day.